Beloved, welcome back to the shop. It is a rainy Thursday morning, about 34 degrees, and a great day to be in the shop. We are going to be trying out a new tool today, a pretty crazy purpose-built tool that doing a job I've never done before. But before that, let's get the fire started. Are you ready for your fire, Mama? You all ready? Okay, we'll get some kindling cut. I'm currently going through a great struggle right now. I'm without my TradCon for 5 days. Mrs. W and Jack are attending a debate competition up north, and that means that I'm doing double duty with the sweet loaf, so please keep me in your prayers. My advice to you, gentlemen, is to have energetic children when you're young. All right, I think that'll go for us. All right, I think we're ready to get started. So today we're going to be doing something, or attempting to do something that I never have before, which would be completely replacing the bearings and races on the headset. Now, this is going to be true for any motorcycle. One thing that's kind of cool, or one thing that's always interesting to me, not kind of cool, I guess it's kind of a pain for mechanics, but when manufacturers build things, cars and motorcycles, without any thought to how you're going to work up on them. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case here, but just to get to the point of, I like to see these custom-made tools that guys come up with, just solutions to really difficult problems, and this is a perfect example of what we're talking about right here. What we're hoping to accomplish today is to remove these old bearing races and replace them with new ones, and that's where this tool comes in. Now, you can drive these out with a screwdriver, but the problem being is you don't get a lot of points of contact, and you could damage a frame. So this kind of expands, and now when you punch on this, well, if we do it this way, you can kind of compress this and get it inside. Now those four little arms on there are going to push equally on that bearing race, and we should be able to drive it out. Let's take a look at our parts. I'm going to show you a little a hack, or a bearing secret I learned from my grandfather. Now, we're going to not be installing the original triple clamps. We're going to be putting these nice X-trigs on, which came with the bearing and race already pressed on. Now, this is specific for my bike, and when you get a bearing and a race, you want to keep them together. They're typically a match set. You don't want to mix those up. But there's only one, so we'll need one for the top. So I also, because my other bearings were in bad shape, I ordered a full new set here. And so this is going to give us the upper ring and bearing, as well as all of the new O-rings, dust guards, and seals, which is nice. So we're going to take one of these bearings and races. This will be the top, and this one, and we're going to put these in the deep freeze right now while we're punching everything out. Putting these in the deep freeze is going to make them shrink up a little bit and go in a little easier. What is going to be the best hammer for driving this? Probably a shop filled. I don't know how hard that is going to be to get out of there. I'll have to say that works pretty good. Pretty effective tool. You living your best life over here. Let's get your fans going. Before we press those bearings in there, we're going to want to make sure that these surfaces are clean of any grit. Use a little carburetor cleaner. Starting to feel like a real motorcycle mechanic now. Now, when I get into that bottom end of that engine and do that, rebuild that myself, then I'll have done everything on this bike. I got the remnants of some stickers sticky on here, so heat gun is so good for getting stickers off it, especially those stickers that leave all that residual behind. While those bearing races are chilling in the deep freeze, we can take a look at our tool. Now, I bought this out of Japan from Tokyo Off-Road, and this is going to be really helpful. So we have to press these races in, right? And you want to press them evenly. So he's created this a perfect mandrel on this threaded rod, so we'll be able to just evenly press those right. Let me show you here, and then this piece here will give you a nice base to twist against. Oops, and essentially be like this. So we're going to need a 19, I think it's 19 millimeter ratchet and box end. Okay, let's go get our races out of the deep freeze and we'll press them in. It's going to be important to keep track of these. This is for the lower, this one's for the upper. We're seated. You can feel it. It just comes to a stop. You don't need to go any further than that. Excellent tool. Excellent tool. Shout out to Tokyo Off-Road. This makes the process, well, it makes it very easy. Goodness, what a drama-free way to put bearing races in. We'll turn this until we feel it seat. How nice is that? What a tool. Very nice, gentlemen. There are two things that give Proho the fizz. New bearings and a new set of tires. Man, tell me I'm wrong. This is the bearing that will go in there. Smooth as silk. Now these are not grease, so we'll have to pack these bearings. I'll show you how to do that. Should we try out our new grease? This is the new grease. I've been using Bel-Ray forever. This is the same stuff, I'm sure. Maxima waterproof grease. Bearings, so to pack them, you're going to put a, look at that. That's some sticky goodness right there. That doesn't come off. You put a little grease in your palm like this. This is messy work, so definitely use your gloves. Wow, that's stringier than Bel-Ray. And see, this is called a caged, the caged bearing, and you want to roll that, and you want to work that grease into the cage, and you do that by just rolling and continuing to press it in there until it comes out the back. You should grease the bearings on dirt bikes especially. You should grease the bearings on your head tube annually. Put that on your regular maintenance. And then if you do that, you won't have to replace bearings, but especially if you pressure wash. All right, see how that's all gooey and coming out of there? That's what we want. This one's going to be a little bit trickier because it's pre-installed, but we'll just do the same thing. Wow, that might even be better than Bel-Ray. That stuff is sticky. I'll just press that in there the best I can without making a huge mess. Next, we'll install the new seal. This is a rubber seal that has a taper on it. We'll put a little grease also, steal some, on the inside of this race, as well as the outside of the seal. We've got a new O-ring that will seal up in the bottom of that, and the original dust cap, which is in good shape. We'll just put a little shine on that with the Scotch-Brite pad. Scotch-Brite was really good for aluminum and anything. Getting stains off of it, it's magic. This is stainless steel. Just like new. All right. Feels good on the inside, smooth, no burrs. I guess we're ready for install. Now, does that make sense? It looks like that there's a taper. I'm guessing this is some sort of a crush. I'm guessing that that's the one from the picture. All right, so we've got bearing. Let me get off some of this extra grease. You can over-grease stuff. You over-grease it, and all it does is collect dirt. It makes things worse. So you want to put grease where you need it, but not where you don't need it, which we don't need it right there. I'm going to make the assumption that this piece goes on here. Yeah, that fits perfectly. That's a seal, so that's a proprietary seal there. The precision is amazing. Look at this beautiful machine nut. Wow, gorgeous. Goodness, gentlemen, look at that. Those bearings are smooth as glass. Well, I've got some very good news. Well, let me show you the picture. So remember I told you it was going to take 4 to 6 weeks to send the fork tubes back to get the Kashima coating in Japan? Well, apparently not. They're ready now because my friend Scott, who's doing my suspensions, just sent me this. These are my fork legs, the DLC and the uppers, the Kashima. They just traded mine. They had a pair on hand and they just sent them right back, and they're taking mine to coat and giving those to the next guy. So we're just waiting on the Cerakote on the bottom of the clamps, and we might have them in just a couple days. So I'm very stoked about that. That's going to look absolutely beautiful against this burnt bronze. Just wait, it's going to be super, super cool. All right, what's next? There's something I'm missing. It was the dash piece. I wasn't sure if that fit. Going aftermarket, I hate to lose the function that from the OEM parts. This is what holds the light switch. This is the TE model, so it's got it enduroed, so it's got the headlight. This is a street legal bike. Look at that. The factory, all the cables and everything run through here. That's really nice. The factory piece is going to bolt right up on there. And, well, maybe not. There's going to be a interference right there. So what I'll have to do is I think I can use it. I might have to space this out. And actually, that might not work at all. I might have to flip it upside down. If I flipped it upside down, no, that's going to be... The problem is this switch right here for the headlight is going to be... There's going to be a conflict. This switch is almost going to touch there probably before those come tight. So I think what we can do is I might even have some spacers, and I'll run a little bit longer bolts by another 1/2 inch. And this will go in the factory spot, but I'm worried that the headlight mask might hit it. So there may be, if that's a problem, we'll delete this switch, and I'll just go to a handlebar switch, which I kind of wanted to do anyway, so I can have a high-low, because my racing light is just too bright for the road. We've got another issue we've got to overcome. Now, these are the bar clamps that came with the X-Trig, and that is a very, very nice system. You see it's got a groove cut in there and 3 different holes. So if you have longer arms and want to get stretched out a little bit more, you can push your bars forward. So that adjustability is super nice. But I don't want to use these clamps. I want to use the superior system, which is the Mako 360, which is made by my friend Lance, who built this for me. Now, he invented this, and this is a life-changing bar mount for older guys, because it isolates it takes all the metal to metal contact away from your handlebars. So I'm just going to try to demonstrate that. Do you see how this is now isolated? So there's a clamp system on there that he invented that holds those, suspends those, and so all those micro impacts and vibrations that were making my hands go to sleep, all that went away. But you can see that this mounting system is different. This was made to go on the factory clips, which are completely just the opposite of what we have here. So I sent Lance a text, and I said, Lance, do you have a mount for this? And he said, well, I just happened to just recently brought all of his machining in-house. And he's like, I'll make you one. I guess it didn't exist. So I'm very excited about that. I just got the invoice and I paid that. So he should be shipping that pretty soon. But we'll have basically this mount with this dovetail system, and it will just be perfect, just like I had it before, and super strong. This is a better way. The one piece, every time I have singles, I bend these in crashes. But when they're both together like this with one piece, that's way, way stronger. So this is going to be just the best bar attachment that you can get. And of course, these cringe stickers are going to need to go. That's the nice thing about being a privateer. You don't have to roll around with someone else's livery all over your kit. All right, gentlemen, that is it. That was my first time replacing the bearings and races on a steering tube, but as you saw in the video, it's very simple. You don't even need to do it with the tools that I had. I watched guys that would take a punch and then just drive them out. Just be careful, go side to side, and then put them back in, you know, with figuring out a way, you know, getting mandrel or use a big socket. But I like to, I didn't want to run the risk of getting one of those in there sideways and messing up the frame. And so I got the tools. It's nice to, anytime I have I can make an excuse to buy tools, I always take advantage of that. Because, you know, if you were to, the way I look at this is that if you're going to have someone or take it to a shop and have them do it, you know, it's going to cost you so much that you can do it at home, buy the tools, and still be in for a fourth or half of what they would charge you. So I'd rather just go that way. All right, that's it. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers. Next time we'll jump in on some more cool stuff. We'll get involved in the cooling system and all those sensors and put those probes in, which is going to be kind of fun. And hopefully I get those fork tubes pretty soon, and we'll get those slid in, and that's going to be, I mean, that's really the only thing I'm waiting on. Once we do that, then we can start polishing and put everything together. I have all the pieces that I need. I'm just waiting on those guys, and looks like they're in town now. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all on the next video.